I'm Alexa Hewitt, Bill Helin. Welcome to Grandparents' Voices. Today we are just going to focus on how important it is to keep your cool when it comes to dealing with a court situation and you have family members or you have an ex-wife or a wife and you're dealing with matters that are really important, especially when it comes to your children and grandchildren. So when it comes down to how your children are treating your grandchildren, you want to have a say in it. And that doesn't always work out well, right? I think you're all in the same canoe, so to speak. So for Indigenous grandparents, of course, we have some other support plans that we can help you with and direct you towards. I'm working now into a support app for grandparents, and it'll be based upon my Grandparents' Voices YouTube site. So I'm really wanting to encourage you to look at your situation from a grounded, non-egotistical focus. So if you're maintaining this focus, well, you're going to have some sort of plan. If you're not well trained, or if you're not geared for public speaking, or you're not like myself when I first got into dealing with court issues and trying to protect a grandchild, the different facets of how you can deal with family situations, or as I'm going to be focusing on mainly is protecting your grandchildren, giving your grandchildren a voice, right? So that's where we're at right now, looking at how is that going to happen without too much drama, because that's really what happens that makes these things get so blown out of the water, is that we want to make a stand for those grandchildren and all of a sudden we find out we're cut off, grandchildren are isolated, or we're just too far away to do anything. So there are some ways that you can make a difference in your grandchildren's lives, even from a distance, but really, when they're a long ways away, what can you do? In most cases for Indigenous grandparents, a lot of the family situations are tightly knit into the reservation communities. So when we look at those kind of communities, again, on reserve, these situations are quite different than off reserve. But bottom line is, the mothers usually have all the rights, and they can legally get those rights just by doing what we're doing to protect the grandchildren, and that is to fill out the forms and more forms. But getting them right and getting them done without much stress is what we want to focus on. And that's really what my new app is going to do for people, is give them direct access to the answers, and right at your request. And of course we're tying into using AI, and that's the other area that I don't have to draw you into or attract you into my app to give you all the answers, because you can do it yourself. It's so easy these days. But I'm going to encourage you, and I'm going to incorporate some drum vibrational wellness tips, and using drum vibrations as a cultural foundation, no matter whether you're Indigenous or not. We all have drum vibrational traditions, and looking at going into battle, staying calm in any situation. This is what the incorporation of drumming and singing and praying, or however you want to meditate and focus on things in a calm, in-depth way without getting so caught up in what our old ways are, or what the world would have us do to make things be more disruptive. So deep breathing also helps, using breathing techniques. I'll be teaching those through my app as well as on this site, as you can find. some of the videos that I've done about drumming and breathing and meditating and focusing on empowering words that take you on your journey and into battle. As much as we don't want to think of it as a battle, it really is, because a lot of times you're battling the system or you're using the tools of the system to try to battle with a family member to protect a grandchild or protect yourself. So really, it is a battle, unfortunately, but let's just, try to take it into a process, right? There's different facets to the process. So anyways, I want to just encourage you to dig in, even with AI. If you're gonna, everybody's into AI these days, just about everybody. And all you have to do is just ask AI, and it'll pretty much give you most of the answers. But make sure you double check. If you had two different types of AI, I use Gemini most of the time, but the connection into my app will also be tied into Gemini and Google. There's a lot of really great research components to the Google app system. And so when I was going to court in Nanaimo, I had to go and fill out another form because I was missing one in the court process. So I had to go to, fortunately, the Indigenous Law Center in Nanaimo was close to the courthouse in Nanaimo. So I went there for a couple hours and focused on getting these papers filled out. But it was really handy because I could actually take a picture of the form and then drop the PDF or drop that image into Gemini, and Gemini just gave me the answers and showed me how to fill it out right there. And plus you can go online, you can go on the government websites and they give you the process too, but it was so much easier just to do that screenshot at the moment with my iPad, or you can do it with your iPhone, but the iPad is much more effective because for us almost blind grandparents and elderly folks, we need to have a bigger screen. So I used my iPad and got through the process a lot faster and was able to make my court time on screen with the judge and have the information ready, and filed everything, and then found out I had to refile because my case was originally started in another town, Port Alberta. So anyways, back and forth we go, and that's what we want to try to help you with, to try to navigate the whole system with all the answers, and so you're not running around and getting so stressed out. And that's what happens to a lot of grandparents when they're dealing with these situations. You want to be there for your grandchildren, but you're just the system is really set up to frustrate the heck out of us. So anyways, I'm going to help you make that easier to navigate. I'm going to offer you vibrational encouragement, motivational drumming and songs and sayings and things like that. So thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in my other video presentations to give you that boost of confidence when you're dealing with the legal system. But all children matter, and so do grandchildren. So stay strong, stay confident, non-egotistical, leave the ego out, just focus on the facts, the truth, and in love. Because really, if you're fighting for your grandchildren to give them a voice, you got to do it in love. That's the main foundation, because you also co-created those beautiful creatures that created your grandchildren. So you started it. See it through, right? The right attitude. Neath Lamb. We speak through the drum beats to make our sovereignty known.